Hey everyone, this is Nick from Mecha Warehouse, and today I'm back with weekly update number 41. I've got some new and exciting things that I really want to talk about as we get into the weekend review section, talk about what's going on. But first, I want to talk about what happened last week. So, last Friday, we had a power outage at the warehouse right at the start of the day. I woke up, rolled over, grabbed my phone, see if there's any important text messages or emails or anything before I get up, and see a message from our power company saying that there is an outage. I think it was a text from like 7:30 in the morning or something. Apparently there was some sort of storm overnight because it was blue skies and beautiful when I got into the warehouse, and saying that I think the initial restoration estimate was like 9 o'clock, and I was like, oh, okay, so it'll be good by the time I get in, no problem. And then it got moved. I ended up having to message the team. Basically, Friday's usually like a busy day. Everybody comes in, let everybody know, and had people come in a little bit later. And thankfully, restocks went up without any problems, all that kind of stuff. We were delayed in packing orders. Thankfully, I don't think it negatively impacted us too much. But it was made for an exciting and somewhat stressful Friday trying to recover because there's so much I do that I need power and internet for. And so I made do with my laptop and my phone in mobile hotspot mode until the batteries got low. And then I pretty much had to sit around and twiddle my thumbs while I waited for the power to come back. Thankfully it came back, I think like 11:30, so we got back up and running, but it was made for a fun morning. All that said, talking about new stuff, because I got a lot of new and exciting stuff to talk about this week. First up, on Tuesday, we announced our next big build contest, whatever you want to call it, build and photo contest maybe. Mecha Warehouse presents Repaired. That video's up on the channel right now. It went up on Tuesday with the full announcement. I'll also include the rules link down in the description below. It basically not completely cover everything from that video, but essentially we're looking for repaired mobile suits, mecha robots, whatever it is. So something that was damaged and repaired, perhaps in the field in a hasty kind of way, not just paint differences, but tacked a different arm on, things like that. If you want to get the whole details, check out that video or the full rules, and hopefully you'll consider entering. The other cool new announcement for upcoming stuff is I intend to have our first live physical event here in the warehouse on September 25th. It's a Saturday. We'll do like an open house kind of thing, hoping to have people come in and maybe bring their builds. We'll set up some tables, kind of like a build competition, let people kind of showcase their work. Be a place people, local builders especially, but anybody who wants to make the trip to come and talk about Gunpla, meet like-minded people, and have a few other things in mind. Still work in progress, but we'll likely have some sort of speed build contest, and we'll also likely have maybe a table set up for the kids with some Haros to build or something like that. We've got a few other ideas. More details will come as we get everything kind of hammered out and squared away. But if you want to save the date for Saturday, September 25th, sometime in the afternoon, maybe like a 2 p.m. start or something. So hopefully we'll see a lot of you then. The other new, specifically warehouse related thing, I've been talking about new content coming. The vlog is now ready. That will be going up on Tuesday. We'll probably do it as a premiere at 10:30 a.m. Interested in that, you will view this as the premiere or however that works on YouTube. We've never done a premiere before, but it's I'm excited. I watched it yesterday. It came out great. Santana did an excellent job with it, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you react to it, because I think it's really cool and a good kind of representation of a day at the warehouse, which is really cool. And then finally, probably the thing I'm most excited about is talking about Gunprimer. We now have Gunprimer in stock. And this is interesting and exciting because we tried to carry Gunprimer a few months back. I forget how long ago it was. One of our other suppliers happened to have some Gunprimer, one of our overseas suppliers. We bought a few things. They sold super fast. And almost immediately afterwards, we got a message from Gunprimer telling us that there was an exclusive North American distributor that we had to go through. Well, that exclusive distributor happens to be one of our biggest competitors. Most of you probably can guess who that is. I won't mention them by name. And there is no way that I was going to rely on a competitor to be a supplier. It's just not really a smart business practice as far as I'm concerned. So I basically told them, let me know when you're willing to do business with us directly, because I don't want to be beholden to a competitor. It's just not smart. And they said, okay, cool. And a few weeks ago, they got back in touch and said, hey, that exclusivity clause in our contract is everything's over now. Do you want to buy our stuff? And of course, I said, yes, Gunprimer makes some really cool products. And so we now have them in. So if you're looking for another place to get your Gunprimer stuff, Mecha Warehouse is hopefully now that place. So all that said, let's move on to Restocks, and I can talk about some of the Gunprimer products we got in, as well as some of the other stuff. We got some really cool kits in this week. So Gunprimer is best known, I think, for their balancers and razor sanding products, basically glass files. They've got a really innovative 3-part system with their balancers for nub removal. I don't know all the details. I've never used any of the products myself. It's probably worth checking out their website, or at least the product descriptions on our website should explain it pretty well. But they're pretty cool. So we got like the razor. I probably have balancers back on the shelf. I didn't grab any of those because the boxes are pretty not super interesting necessarily. What they also have, which I didn't even really know about until we got their stuff in, is some really cool panel line scribing solutions. So one example here is these panel line guides. This is the panel line guide number 1 straight line. They come in different widths and thicknesses, and they're basically little, I think, stickers essentially. They're pre-cut with a groove and various shapes. So if you want to make, say, a trapezoidal panel line on the edge of an armor piece, you basically have the shape you need right here, and you can just stick that on, and you've got that shape kind of preset for you. They also have these panel line custom guides, which are really cool. I don't know if this will focus or not. It might be too bright, but they're basically a grid, and I think it's essentially like see-through plastic, and you can cut the shape you want into it and then use that as your guide. So you can cut out a little piece of this to create your template to put your to carve your panel lines in, and then when you want to do the other side, you can mirror it just by flipping it over. And I think that's an incredibly innovative idea. In fact, the pictures on the back here may or may not be more descriptive. Really cool ideas, really cool kind of products, and something that's definitely worth looking into if you're into doing that kind of stuff and haven't yet, because that might be a lot easier than just using tape for especially more intricate stuff. So the other really interesting product that we got from Gunprimer isn't actually technically a Gunprimer product, but they are the distributor for it, and that is Tag Art. They've got these runner clips, and so basically these are just a bunch of little plastic pieces. They come with a runner full of little letters and numbers, so you can label them. So if you're like me and usually just put all your runners in the box and flip through them, this might be a nice little option. You can stand them up on the desk however you want, manipulate them, switch them around, and kind of an inexpensive, lightweight option to hold your runners. All right, so that's Gunprimer. Moving on to kits, we've got some new Bandai releases in, as well as a bunch of stuff from Kotobukiya. So Bandai, the big one that everybody is probably excited about is the new Full Mechanics Calamity Gundam. These will go super fast, I'm sure. Brand new release. Everybody's been talking about them. Had a bunch of pre-orders sold. We also have the latest real grade Evangelion Mark 6, the Dukemon Gallantmon Figurize Amplified Kit from the Digimon series, and the new entry grade Kirby. And I mean, come on, who wasn't into Kirby? So we got those brand new releases. We also got a few of the high grade Gundam Kimaris Vidar in, not as many as I'd like. So they'll probably disappear pretty fast because we haven't had them in a little while, but a cool kit nonetheless. Kotobukiya, we got primarily more model support goods type stuff. Things like this sword set here. This is the weapon set 25. Sword and hammer. Sword and hammer, I think, is what that one's called. If I'm reading the katakana right. Got a set of heads. These look like wolf and animal heads. Probably more like something you might use with what you call it, with like a hexagear kind of thing. We also got some various other weapon sets. I've only got one other one here. Looks like a grenade launcher type system. I feel like that's not focusing. Focus on this. So we got those in. A few other ones. The one other model support good I have over here is a propellant tank set, which is kind of cool if you want to add some details to the back of a kit. We got some other joints and related things. We also got a pair of hexagear governors, the Quetzal and the Zoanthropus Low as well. So some cool designs. I feel like this stuff's not focusing. We also got one tool in. We got some more Mr. Easy nippers. If anyone's never used one of these before, I haven't either. They look basically like nail clippers with a slight angle on the end. And I don't know why anyone would want to use these personally, other than if you ever have to fly. I think this is probably the safest nipper to fly with. The likelihood that someone were to take this away from you, like the TSA, because they thought it was a weapon, is super low because they look like nail clippers. And I'm pretty sure nail clippers are still allowed in airplanes. Finally, we also got these Strict G masks in. This is just one of 6 varieties we have. We talked about them during pre-orders a few months back. This is the Iron-Blooded Orphans version. They're kind of cool. Not sure if anybody still needs masks. Maybe they do with all the concern over the Delta variant. But if you want a Gundam-themed mask to have, this is a good option. And I'm pretty sure we're not going to get any more than what we got. So if you want one, grab it now. So that's it for Restocks this week. Let's do Q&A then. So Q&A, this is the part of the video where I answer questions from you. If you want to have a question answered, whether that's a question about Mecha Warehouse, Gunpla, whatever, post that comment or a question down in the comments below, and I'll be more than happy to answer it next time. I think this week we've got maybe about 3 questions, 2 or 3. The first one's from Lawrence Tung. He says, always excited for the Friday morning restocks and video drop. It's one of my weekend high points. I've noticed that most new stock restock items are sold out almost instantly or only last a few hours, days at best. I missed out on quite a few items myself. Are there any factors preventing you from bringing larger quantities? Cash flow, warehouse space, suppliers not giving them out you order due to shortages, or just not realizing how big the store has grown in the past year, or any other reasons? I can't feed my addiction if there's nothing to buy, and I'd rather buy from you than other places since discount code plus no sales tax is huge. Thanks, Lawrence. So the answer to the question, there's 2 main factors, and I'm sure cash flow and warehouse space will be a factor pretty soon as well. But the 2 biggest reasons that we're having trouble getting larger quantities in, number 1 are shortages. We order a quantity of something and they're giving us less than we order because they're trying to make sure everybody gets their share, so to speak. And they're basing that I think somewhat based on how much everybody's ordering for the most part. But so if I order what I think I need, they're giving me less than what I really want. The best example of this is the master grade tall geese that I ordered for Q3 this year. I think I ordered 100 something of them, and they're only sending me 12, and that's really disappointing. So that's definitely a big part of it. It's hard to predict what they'll actually give us. The other side of that is our rapid growth. So in a lot of cases, because demand seems to have spiked recently, if I place an order 3 or 6 months ago, or even longer, some of these shipments are taking the better part of a year before we get what we ordered. A good example of that is the Akatsuki we got in a few weeks back. We were supposed to get them in, I think, November last year. So the number that we needed to have a good number in stock in November of 2020 is a lot different than what we need in July of 2021. We're growing pretty fast. And so that lag, coupled with getting less than we want, is pretty much preventing us from getting the quantities we want on a lot of things. It should hopefully get better. Our most recent order, we ordered more of everything than we've ever ordered before. Somewhere on the order of ordering in excess of our 2020 gross sales in one order, basically. So that's pretty exciting. So hopefully we get most of that, or at least a large enough portion of it, to hopefully not sell out instantaneously of a lot of stuff. Hopefully that answers your question. Next one, Dolomite 000 asks, I'm looking for a zero gravity Judge model kit. Heard anything about those? So I don't know a ton about them other than that they're really popular. They're really cool. They're made by a third party manufacturer that we don't work with currently. And my understanding is that the mold broke or something, from what I've heard on the interwebs. And so based on that, it might be really hard to get them. So good luck. I wish I could help you more. I'm sorry. Maybe in the future. And then the last question for today, Robert Higdon says, so the nipper cover section made me think of a good question. In terms of products arriving damaged, what is the biggest bad order you've had since launching Mecha Warehouse? Example, 10K order arrives with 8K worth of order damaged. So the worst one was definitely last summer. Anybody who is following us summer 2020, I think it was in June, we received a shipment that was maybe like, we got 5 pallets in, and we probably lost 1 to 2 pallets worth of that stuff to damage. Anybody who is a follower, fan, Discord member during that period, we did a ton of dings and dents. It was so big, and we were running out of the house at the time, that Bluefin actually allowed us to keep all the damaged stuff and let us, they basically just gave us a credit to discount those items so we could sell them as dings and dents to help with the logistics, because packing up pallets worth of stuff and sending it back is not something that's easy to do when you're operating out of your house. And so I don't remember what the exact dollar values were for all the damage, but it was a lot. And there were a lot of kits that were absolutely trashed. Master grade RX-78 Origins, I think, is a great example. We had some were like balled up. Maybe there's some footage in here that will show some of that. There's a whole video on the channel from when we received that. So there's a link up. I don't know which side it'll be on, somewhere for you to check that out. So that's it for Q&A. I think that's all I got this week. So thank you all for watching. See you all next time. Later.